As the Indian Air Force celebrates its 92nd Raising Day, showcasing its frontline fighters like SU-30 MKI, the MiG-29s, the light combat aircraft Tejas alongside attack helicopter Prachand, and the utility helicopter ALH Dhruv, the eyes are all set on the future, and this is evident from this year's Air Force's theme, which is Bharatiya Vayu Sena Saksham, Sashakt or Atmanirbhar, meaning Indian Air Force is capable, strong and self-reliant, thus highlighting the Air Force's commitment to national security, self-reliance and modernization. The primary focus of current modernization and upgrades is to replace the aircrafts purchased from Soviet Union that form the backbone of the Indian Air Force. The Indian Air Force plans to attain a 42 squadron strength by 2035 and deploy up to 450 fighter jets, each along the borders of Pakistan and China. Indian Air Force will acquire large number of stealthy autonomous UCAVs or unmanned combat aerial vehicles like the Ghatak, swarm drones and uncrewed aircraft to transform it into a fully advanced network-centric air force capable of sustained multi-role operations along the entire spectrum. India's futuristic projects and equipments that are under development are definitely very fascinating. The India's fifth generation stealth aircraft, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft or the AMCA, is expected to be inducted by year 2035. This is according to Defence Research and Development Organization's chairman, Mr. Samir V. Kamath. He says, India is amongst a select few nations that are developing their own stealth aircraft. Mr. Kamath has said that the 5.5 generation AMCA fighter aircraft is a stealth aircraft, adding that the DRDO has initiated the development process of this aircraft's design, which is already completed. According to Mr. Kamath, DRDO aims to finish AMCA developmental trials by year 2034, with induction slated for year 2035. The AMCA has also been described as 5.5 generation fighter aircraft in several media reports and by members of India's defense establishment in the past. This means that it will incorporate some of the features that will be seen in the upcoming 6th generation jets being developed by United States and China, which already operate 5th generation platforms. The Hindustan Aeronautic Limited's Tejas Mark II, also known as Medium Weight Fighter or HAL's MWF. It is planned single-engine, delta-wing, multi-role fighter aircraft that has been designed by the Aeronautical Development Agency or the ADA and the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited or the HAL for Indian Air Force. It is a further development of HAL's Tejas or the Light Combat Aircraft program, which began way back in year 1980s. This was to replace India's aging MiG-21 fighter aircrafts. The Tejas Mark II is being developed to replace multiple strike fighters like the Speedcat Jaguars, the SAW Mirage 2000 and MiG-29s of the Indian Air Force. India's new advanced single-engine fighter jet, Tejas Mark II, is expected to take its first test flight in next 2 years in 2026. This timeline has emerged recently after a meeting led by Defence Research Organisation Development Head Dr. Samir V. Kamath and the Indian Air Force Deputy Chief Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit. The HAL's Combat Air Teaming System is a planned uncrewed and crewed combat aircraft air teaming system being developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. This system will consist of a crewed fighter aircraft acting as a mothership of the system and a set of swarming UAVs and the UCAVs governed by the main aircraft. A twin-seated HAL Tejas is likely to be the main fighter aircraft, and in future it can be the AMCA as well. HAL CATS Warrior, part of HAL Combat Air Teaming System, is an armed stealth drone which will team up and fight along the Indian Air Force's fighters to hit high-value targets. It is designed to carry out multiple types of operations. It will be the first line of offense in operations against heavily defended integrated air defense networks. In a significant stride towards advancing India's defense capabilities, state-owned Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has initiated the procurement process for the components necessary for developing the CATS Warrior Loyal Wingman prototype. According to the information available in open domain, HAL aims to roll out the prototype by early 2026, adhering to the planned timelines. Indian Multi-Role Helicopter, or the IMRH. The HAL's medium lift helicopter IMRH is a planned large rotorcraft in 15 to 20 ton category. All three branches of the Indian Armed Forces, that is Army, Navy and Air Force, are likely to be the customers for this helicopter. According to the HAL, the IMRH is to be the same class as Russian Mi-17 and is to serve as a planned replacement in all three services. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Safal Helicopter Engines Private Limited have signed on airframer contract to commence joint design, development, manufacture, supply and support of a new generation high-power engine named Aravali for the 13-ton medium-lift class Indian multi-role helicopter, or the IMRH, and the deck-based multi-role helicopter, or the DBMRH. The IMRH and the DBMRH are being designed and developed by HAL. As per the HAL, the name Aravali is derived from the mighty mountain ranges in Western India, symbolizing the aspirations of the country in achieving self-reliance in the critical engine technology. The futuristic Indian Air Force will also be utilizing the space in defense of India. The IAF is increasingly procuring and developing space-related equipments and assets. In 2023, the IAF was looking to procure a reusable launch vehicle, a space plane being developed by the ISRO. In March 2024, the Chief of Defence Staff Anil Chauhan announced that the Indian Armed Forces had allocated Rs 25,000 crores for defence space requirements, including building a constellation of surveillance satellites in order to achieve secure communication networks. In July 2024, startup Pixel announced that it plans to supply miniaturized multi-payload satellites for monitoring goals of IAF by 2025. As the Indian Air Force celebrates its 92nd raising day, it's very important for us to look at the inventory and the aircrafts that are held by the Indian Air Force. It has got a very potent array of fighter aircrafts. Right behind me on the video wall, we can see the SU-30 MKI. It is of Russian origin. It can carry a very heavy payload, very extended range and reach this particular aircraft has. Similarly, like this particular Russian aircraft, we also have a French aircraft. This is Mirage 2000. This aircraft has been produced by Dassault France, the same company that has given us Rafale. So this aircraft, when it was purchased, it had the capability to carry nuclear bombs as well. Now, another very great aircraft this Air Force had, now it is at the edge of being phased out, is the MiG-21. They were inducted in 1963. They have seen the 65 war, they have seen the 71 war, and they were also used in the Kargil. Now, a very small part of this fleet is remnant, and they are likely to be phased out by year 2025. Another Russian origin aircraft that the Indian Air Force has is the MiG-29. We have got around 2 squadrons of these aircrafts, and
They are Russian origin, again very potent, and this aircraft can carry out a maneuver called the Cobra maneuver, which is a signature of this particular aircraft. Then apart from this, we have other Russian aircrafts as well, like what we can see on the screen is MiG-27. They have very recently been phased out. They took a very active participation in the Kargil war, and now, as I said, that they have been phased out, but they were extremely good when it came to ground support. Another aircraft which is still going strong is the Jaguar aircraft. Now, this Jaguar aircraft is Anglo-French origin, and it is again for ground attack and ground support role. It is doing great in the Air Force. They have recently been modified, and their capabilities have been enhanced, so they will last a bit longer. Now, the other aircraft that we have is the Dassault Rafale. We have all seen a lot of images of these fantastic aircraft that we purchased from France, and it is said that we should go in for more of these aircraft because whatever purchases that we did are actually not so sufficient. So let's see in near future, do we have more of these or not. The next aircraft is absolutely interesting, and it's a matter of pride for all of us, and that is the LCA Tejas. It's Indian designed and manufactured equipment. This is going to be India's future and the backbone of the Indian Air Force. Another British origin aircraft that we have is the Hawk Mk-132. It is the third stage jet trainer. It can also be used for ground attack, ground support role. Now, this aircraft is also used for aerial displays that we see whenever celebrations take place. In those red and white stripes, these aircraft are seen over the skies, creating Indian tri-flag, very popularly seen on the Republic Day and various other events.